We have a mission again to kind of get back to these ancestral wise traditions. And so we align with farmers in our community that are doing like soil regenerative techniques, organic, no pesticides. We go to the farms and make sure these animals are being treated with respect and are actually pasture raised.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Discover Seguin On Location. Today we are at The Gathering Place, which is a wonderful shop just on Crockett Street, about a block off the main from the courthouse. And we have the owners today, Kristen and Krystal, with us. And they want to talk about their business and their inspiration to start this movement. And we're going to start by getting a little background from them. So ladies, what was your background and what made you decide to go this direction here in Seguin?
Well, hi, my name is Kristen. I am one of the owners here at the Gathering Place. I have been a yogi for in the area for a little over a decade now. So I teach yoga, I do sound baths, meditation, somatic work. My background is in psychology. So I really enjoy bringing, a lot of the newer psychological research into the yoga realm. So when I get one-on-one with students or host small classes, we like to do a lot of breath work, a lot of gentle movement, a lot of just tuning inward with the self. But I like to back it up with science. Also, I like to bring science into the forefront and be like, hey, this is the method to the madness. This is why we're breathing this way. This is why we're moving this way. So that's a little bit about the yoga, the sound I like to do as well. So I know we have a couple different people in the area that host sound baths. It's just a way to help your brain and your body relax after a really long week.
And so are you from Seguin, or did you move here and decide to open the place, or how did that come about?
So I live in San Marcos. Krystal is from Seguin, well, from San Marcos, but lives in Seguin. I live here now. And we found each other in motherhood, but I'll let her kind of explain more about that.
Okay. Krystal, how did what motivated you to open the Gathering Place?
So I have a background in herbology. I also do CBT and DBT. So we both kind of have mental health backgrounds, psychology backgrounds. I also love when science meets spirit and we can prove some of these ancient ways that our ancestors did things do work and have a reason that they were doing it. And so I've been doing like farmers markets for years, and so was she, in the heat of Texas. And so when the opportunity for the building came up to have a brick and mortar and not have to load and unload and do those things, bringing this knowledge of our ancestral ways between food, herbs, breath work, yoga, and have a building to do that couldn't pass it up. So that's kind of how we got the start of this.
So where did you two meet?
Actually, a friend's baby shower, mutual friend. We somehow, even though we were both kind of on similar paths, we had never met each other somehow. We met at a mutual baby shower and kind of just became instant best friends. I actually told her 2 weeks into knowing her that we were going to be business partners, and she looked at me like I was a big old weirdo.
Bless the best. It was great though, because when we met, it was this instant, her baby was a month old. I was pregnant with my last, and I'm talking about yoga, and she's like, yeah, I do yoga. And then she's talking about herbs, and she's like, I'm an herbalist. And I'm like, I'm an herbalist too. And we just hit it off. And before we knew it, we're spending time together and just manifesting all these beautiful ideas. And fast forward some time in our friendship, I get this phone call in early spring, and she goes, hey, remember all this manifesting and awesome talk about what all we want to do if given the opportunity? We have a building. It's in Seguin. It's right off downtown. We got to do some work to it. It needs a lot of love and some elbow grease, but if you're willing to do this with me, I'll do it with you. Do you want to do it? And I said, yeah, let's go.
So you guys decided to go in together and open this business. And what was your mission or your goal in opening the business?
It's kind of morphed over, like from the beginning. The beginning was, again, just, she does herbalism, I do herbalism, a space to do those things. Now for me personally, it's my mission is just to get people back to health and wellness with the basics, the stuff our ancestors did using food as thy medicine, local, nourishing food that our farmers work so hard to create, creating food security for Seguin. As I was telling you earlier, like during the pandemic and stuff, we've learned if these food chains or different things get disrupted, you can go without certain basics in your pantry for your family. We want to insulate Seguin from that by supporting our local farmers and having a one-stop shop to do that at. Learning about fermenting foods and nourishing the gut so that your gut and brain can communicate and create serotonin better. Using what God and Mother Nature gave us with the plants and with the food to just nourish our bodies, nourishing our soul and mind as well, and bringing wellness in that way to Seguin.
And if I may add, bringing nourishing and wellness and a little bit of positivity into the area. We also want to educate the next generation on reducing their eco footprint. So if you guys look behind me, there's a bunch of jars and a bunch of really cool pumps and stuff. All of that stuff is full of your household needs. So we have bulk oils, we have bulk cleaning vinegars, anything that is non-toxic that you need for your home, we have in bulk supply. So you can bring in your mason jars at home, your spice jars at home, come in, pay, just buy the ounce to fill up whatever you need. So if you need turmeric, you can come in and get turmeric for, 25 cents on the ounce or whatever it is. Pay 75 cents for your jar of turmeric instead of $4.50 for the same exact organic turmeric, but it's wrapped in plastic, more jars, more this, more that, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And again, like she was saying, keeping food security safe and secure for Guadalupe County.
True, yeah. So you also, it's called the Gathering Place. So you opened it to create a community too.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. People who come here that are like-minded,
Yeah.
but also to educate other people and let them see how valuable this lifestyle is.
Yes.
So tell me about the community that you've created, the classes that you have or the clients that come in and how you serve them. You can talk about your products and you have different vendors, correct, who sell their products through your store here.
So with the gift store section, we kind of have sections in here. With the gift store section, it's all locally sourced. We try to stick, to Seguin as we can, but we have a few San Marcos peeps and a few New Braunfels friends. Sweet friends. And so one of the different things that we do here to be more community oriented is that we don't charge commission on top of sales. So we just charge a minimal rent, basically cover credit card fees and the electricity, and all the money gets to go back to these community members that work hard to create these products. And it also helps them keep their prices a little bit lower, because usually when you do go to a different space and they charge 30-40% commission on top of your sales, well, you got to cover that, so then raise your prices. So it's more for the consumer as well. And same with the farmers. We don't charge a commission on top of their sales.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways that we're giving back and kind of creating that community. With the classes, I do once a month herbal classes. They're on the second Tuesday of the month at 6:15 p.m. Right now, I'm still going over Texas natives. Our land here has beautiful herbs that are hardy by the weather and the lack of rain and the hard sun. So there's a lot of nourishing plants that you can find in your backyard. So I'm focusing on that. We do something hands-on together, make something together. You leave with that product. Kristen does her once a month sound baths and yoga.
Yep, every second Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Suggested $30 donation. Some people bring us canned goods. That's just fine. Just show up and be here to relax.
Yeah. Nice.
And with the herbal classes, same. If you just want to come and learn the knowledge, it's free. But if you want to leave with the product, I just asked for like $35 to cover the costs of the product.
Yeah.
But the dissemination of information, I believe, should be free. So
The other classes that we offer, usually around spring, summer, fall, winter solstice, we love to get hands-on. So we'll do like a hands-on incense. Teach people how to make their own incense using herbs. Yeah, it's really fun, especially with the littles.
like of Play-Doh, but it smells good.
Yeah, and then we've done eco printing, which is where you can take cotton fabrics and fresh florals and hammer them out, and you can make beautiful designs on tablecloths and such.
Oh, wow.
For all your help, little lady. Yeah, toodles.
Just so cute.
Yeah, so in the future, we're going to be having a lot more workshops. Like Krystal mentioned, every second Tuesday is a staple for our herbalism classes. Every second Wednesday is a staple for the sound, but every month varies for what we have to offer. We do invite people in to teach. So if any of you guys are educators out there who are looking for a space to come in and host, by all means, reach out to us. We do have that available.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the future, we'll have a community kitchen going.
Yeah, so you were talking about that earlier. So that would be a certified kitchen that you guys are working towards? And then people would be able to come in and utilize it, rent it, or just use it and create what they need to for their own businesses and use your space.
Yeah, so it's like right now, very much need have a lot of certified kitchen space for like our food trucks, or just personal chefs, catering chefs, those kind of things. Right now, they kind of either have to get permission from a church or go to New Braunfels or San Marcos, which have long waiting lists for those certified kitchens. So bringing that into our local community to help the economy in that way as well. Fill that needed gap. And then again, open it up. We'll be doing so many classes and we get that. We'll be, doing hands-on candle making, tallow rendering, canning, sourdough, just all kinds of homesteady stuff. And again, opening up to the community. If your grandma knows how to make pasta, have her come in.
No. I love it. There you go. If you have anything that you want to offer our community, or we even have children entrepreneurs in here. One of our boys builds birdhouses. Yes. And we want him to come in here and do a hands-on. He's so excited about, just his little business. He's all of, I think, 10 or 12. He's 8. Oh, he's 8. Sweet baby.
Yeah, we do. We have a young entrepreneurs section and everyone in there's under 18.
How neat.
So cute.
Yeah, we just want to be able to be a gathering place for people to, like you mentioned, come in, learn, grow, share. It's what we're here to do as humans.
True. And it does. It creates such a great community. Yes. So you talked a little about your farmers and your food sources. So I want to really go into that because I want to know about the farmers that provide food and what you have available here, how you go about selling it. And I think you can do food boxes where you can come every 2 weeks and that kind of thing. So tell me all about that.
Yeah, so we have a mission again to kind of get back to these ancestral wise traditions. And so we align with farmers in our community that are doing like soil regenerative techniques, organic, no pesticides. We go to the farms and make sure these animals are being treated with respect and are actually pasture raised. Because sometimes at the grocery store, when it says grass fed, that just means that they were fed grass at some point and that they can still technically be in a stall in a barn somewhere and never actually touch the grass.
Yeah.
So there's some of these loopholes that they will use to get that. But these farmers that we get, Young McDonald's right now is one of our main ones for beef, pork, and chicken. And they have Brian's Healthy Harvest. And these two men, they go above and beyond to make sure these animals are being treated respectfully. They're out in the sunshine. They're on the grass. Brian, I know specifically, drove out to Gonzales before he got the chickens and got mushroom compost to fertilize his whole property to make sure that grass that they were going to be eating was nutrient. And when you're eating food like that, it actually nourishes your body. And when you buy food that's maybe kept in these feedlots and stuff, these stressed out animals have a lot of cortisol in their body. And then you're eating that and that adds to your stress cortisol levels in your body. And so it's not truly nutrient dense when you eat it this other way. So I'm doing these new nutritionist course that I'm learning a lot about that kind of stuff. The way the animal's treated does matter. It does matter that you eat and you're putting in your body. And so
something that we say here a lot, and we have it written right above the store, it says live your intention, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that I've been saying in my yoga practice for over a decade now is live your intention. What is that intention? Is it health? Well, what are you doing to sustain your health? What does that look like? What is the food and the water that you're putting in your body? Strip it down, right? Okay, I want a steak. That's fantastic. Where did my steak come from? And for me, I have health problems. It's kind of how I figured all this out from a very young age. It's important to me to know where that beef, that steak comes from because of all of the practices that she just mentioned. Yeah, I have a very, very, very sensitive gut. The fact that I'm still here, being able to do what I do every day is a gift. And I want to be able to prolong that, especially now that I have a family.
Yeah.
And the community that we're building here are very like-minded individuals who have, I, I don't want to say open their eyes, but are more aware of the ingredients being used, how animals are being treated. They want to come in and ask us, hey, who is this farmer of Young McDonald? Does he have kid? Like, what does this look like for him? How do they raise their animals? And then to be able to have Luke, who is the owner, be here on a Saturday, just hanging out with us, having a cup of tea and being like, oh, you want to meet the farmer? He's right here.
See where the food comes
With
from.
the sun.
That concept is just almost mind-blowing. Think about it compared to going to a grocery store, a large chain, and you have no idea where your food comes from, or how it was produced,
Raised, right?
raised.
Something that really took me and my heart, almost like a positive lift, right? For doing what we're doing and how we're doing this and all the things, because it's very outside of the box, right?
Yeah.
We had the senior gentleman come in, all of 92, 93, had canes, coming in, hunched over a little bit. And he's looking around, he pants his cane down and he goes, girls, y'all the owners? And we're both like, yes, sir. And he's like, you're doing a good job. This reminds me of going back and grocery shopping with my grandparents back in the day.
Right.
And that was the biggest
Compliment.
Oh, just the best, right? Refill, because if we are able to make something happen in 2025 that reflects something done in 1890, as far as food goes,
Yeah.
we're doing something right.
True.
I think so.
Yeah. So I grew up in a really small town, and we had a little tiny family-owned local grocery store where, yes, the local dairy brought the milk, the local egg farm guy. It was all people locally, and it was all available there. Even giant blocks of cheese. There was yellows a area, and you would go and cut your own under a little wire thing. But anyway, so it reminds me very much of my childhood hometown grocery store too, in a very, very small town of like 3,000 people. I love it. I love it. And y'all have produce though too, and you have a not a produce club, but what do you call it? Like
It's a veggie bounty bag. So if you are squirrely and don't care exactly what you get, it's a seasonal bag of whatever. It's a collective of 5 farmers in the Wimberley Valley. They, again, all organic, soil regenerative. You just get a big honkin' sack of local veggies that are seasonal. So in the fall, we were getting big, beautiful, like ube sweet potatoes that are purple, and a lot of the root vegetables, the radishes and stuff. Right now, we're getting, a lot of salad, really bright, beautiful salad greens that I almost don't even need salad dressing on because they just taste so good. They're having a lot of flavor in it.
Cheaper foods, beets that are about yay thick, that taste just like candy.
And juicy tomatoes and cucumbers. Okay, where do I sign up? And if you don't want to do the whole big bag, we have 2 Seguin farmers that come in about every other day and drop off literally picked and brought in fresh vegetables. She had corn last weekend. I think she's bringing corn today. So like corn, again, squash. A lot of our lettuce and stuff right now also comes from Trinity Ranch here in Seguin. She supplies a bunch of the local schools even with lettuce.
It's
And
nice to know.
Yes, John, and she is a beautiful woman, and she supplies all of the greens for Seguin ISD. They are organic,
I did not know that.
and all the herbs that they cook too. So fun little loophole.
That is really nice to know.
her herbs here as well. Some hydroponic people don't add nutrients to the water. So some people have tasted hydroponics. Oh, it's kind of tasteless because it'll be mostly taste like just water. But she adds an organic nutrients to her water. So like all her herbs and stuff, it has the live root ball on it. So it stays alive longer than when you buy the clippings in the store. And they have so much flavor because of her doing that little extra step.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
We've been really, really passionate, as you can tell, about meeting our farmers and knowing exactly how their process of doing things is. And we've been learning so much and been able to turn around and help navigate the new people who are like, hey, we're brand new to farming, or we're homeschoolers and we just want to dive into this. Fill in the blank.
Yeah.
We have a directory here, so we're able to look through and be like, oh, if you need goats, if you need help with hay, if you need help with hydroponics,
You need also a resource as well for people to come in and talk to you guys who want to get started in, I guess I call it a homesteading lifestyle.
Yes.
And I think it's very popular right now, like I was
is.
talking about earlier. And I think because people have kind of reached their limit with the processed foods that we have and what's available, and they're looking for more natural alternatives. I feel like so many people are nowadays. So it's good to know you have a resource. You said you have a book or a file where you can help people get started and give them direction on where to find those items or what they might need to live a more simpler lifestyle, homesteading and growing their own vegetables or raising their own animals.
Yeah.
That's really great. That does create quite a community, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was really interesting when we were filing all of our paperwork way early days, right?
Yeah.
Summer of transformation. We were redoing the building and figuring out exactly our vision here. It instead of, this one like just tea, that would be great. That's fantastic. You can do that. But our calling and our knowledge base, we've just been called to serve our community in this way. And hearing, hey, we need a gap here. We need a local corn. Well, give us a week. Let's see. Let me call some farmers and see. Oh, and then we find a farmer here in Seguin who's been growing them for over 10 years. Like,
Wow. People don't know.
we don't know, Do you know? Because I don't know why it's not more openly discussed, but I am so thankful that our society and our community specifically, Seguin, has been growing. Yeah, we've been growing a lot around learning about where our food comes from.
Yeah.
And I feel that since COVID, there's been a really big push towards health as wealth. That's something that I've lived for quite a while, coming from injury and all of that. Thank you, baby. But now being in a place where people who are healing from cancer can come in and go, oh my gosh, you guys have organic food, you have organic herbs, you have local goods, so I can pick out a cute little mug or something for myself.
Not just that too. Well, that, and also when you are eating this way, you don't have to buy these expensive supplements. You don't have to buy expensive probiotics if you're fermenting your food with some of this natural local stuff. So it seems expensive in some ways, but in other ways, if you look at it that way, your tongue is actually tasting the food, which then sends information to your gut on how to digest said food. And when it's nutrient dense like this and not full of cortisol, you don't need to supplement with K2 and vitamin D3. It's in the meat because the meat was out in the sun absorbing those things and eating it from the actual grass. And so you can eliminate a big expense because supplements aren't regulated. Supplements are expensive usually. And when you bypass your tongue specifically by taking a pill, you're not sending that key information to your gut to actually process that supplement in the proper way to be able to absorb it properly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that our bodies absorb supplements as well as they do natural foods. And get them the needed nutrients out of food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So, wow. I love this place. I just do. I've come by before and I just think it's so cute. And not just cute as in like, oh, it's cutesy, but as in it's a very needed resource for our community. And I'm so happy that y'all are here.
Thank you.
So what else? So you can bring in your own container and you can refill your herbs and your oils and your necessary things like that.
I have laundry detergent. We have olive oil, shampoo, conditioner, hand soap.
Spices.
Yeah, your basics like your salt, pepper, garlic, parsley. Some of it's grown locally in gardens. So like a sweet basil in here right now came from a farmer. So as that's available, we'll have it. What we can't get locally, we support a farmer somewhere in America. Yeah, and so that's, again, our mission is to connect back to the land. So, Seguin obviously can't grow rice and certain things. So we just try to support a farmer somewhere in the world if we can. And you can bring like your shampoo container. Doesn't matter what company, brand, it doesn't matter. Rinse it out, bring it in, refill it. It's way cheaper. I mean, if you fill out like a 8-ounce thing of shampoo, it's like $3. That's 40 cents an ounce or something like that. So
it's plastic out of the landfill.
Very cool. Yeah. And all of your gift items are usually handmade, and
they're all handmade.
And by local people for the most part.
We have
got everything from clothing to to
Yeah.
candles and soaps and
We have dog treats that are come out of Lockhart that are single ingredient dog treats. They support farmers as well, like with the parts that we don't want to eat. So like the collagen rolls are made from like the beef skin, or like the duck heads that nobody wants to eat gets turned into dog treats. And so a sustainable way to use the whole animal again to honor that sacrifice the animals made to nourish us. And then, yeah, we've got one little girl. She's a little single mom. She makes toys, like little dolls and little magnets and stuff for kids. And we've got Kathleen makes pottery. It's a Texas sourced clay. It's microwavable. It's handmade. It's beautiful. And then, yeah, we've just got, like you said, shoes and clothes are handmade, and jewelry that's handmade. And
Every artist or company that we support is usually a mom or a family, and we do our best to keep everybody within Guadalupe County or the surrounding counties. I can say right now, every person that we have as a vendor is in Seguin.
oh, nice.
So if you're really looking for a one-stop local shop, we're about
To support the communities and
support your neighbor.
your neighbor. So you talked about moms, and I know from speaking with you guys earlier, y'all are all about mom power.
Go Mom. Go.
Go mom. I love that. And so give me a little rundown when you told us how you met and why you decided to open this place. But I know you guys put in elbow grease, like blood, sweat, and tears to open this shop up.
Fingertip.
And oh my goodness. So tell me a little about the building is amazing, and I know y'all know the history of it.
Yeah.
And then what y'all did to retrofit it and make it into the space that it is.
So my husband is a kind of general contractor handyman, and the owner of the building he had been doing personal work for a while, and we didn't know that he had commercial buildings as well. He's an old Seguin local. I mean, his family grew up in the McAuley Hotel. And so his family's like, I think his dad was like the only dentist in town from like the 30s to like the 60s or something like that. And so anyways, he called my husband because the previous tenant had kind of left the bathroom running and ended up, messing up the floor. So he came here, found out that she was moving on to a new location and that the building be available. And so my husband was like, hey, you've always talked about opening a store. Maybe this is it. And so I came here alone the first time, and just it was a mess. Anyone who'd been here before, it was a resale shop, but it was just kind of floor to ceiling, hard to navigate. A lot of stuff was in here. And so I saw the vision instantly, and my husband was like, it's a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, but we can do it. And like I said, we'd already kind of aligned on a lot of things. And so I called her and was like, hey, like, we got a building opportunity. I know you just had a baby. I've got a young, year and a half old at that point. But it's the opportunity of a lifetime, really. We can't pass it up. So do you want to do it? So she said yes. She came and saw it, and she saw the vision with me as
It
well.
was amazing. We walked in, and her husband is looking at me like, oh man, you too. And we're both like, and we see this here and this here. And it was just crystal clear through everything.
Yeah.
And we knew that it would be a lot of work.
And I love.
She has a teenager and
We have a lot of friends too that showed up.
an 18-month-old. Yeah, bless your teenager and all those friends.
Yes.
Thank God for that. And I have 3 babies under 5. So I just had my last baby. She wasn't even a year old yet when we got her keys. And we were tying them to our backs and just doing what we needed to do, tearing down.
Pulling out probably 10,000 staples and
So many staples.
so many staples. And something else that we did that I think is pretty cool is we really wanted to keep a lot out of the landfill. Again, that's kind of our mission, sustainability, eco-friendly, but there was a lot of junk in here. And so we called everyone we can think of, every troupe, like a theater troupe in the area, like, hey, come get stuff for your props, for your shows.
Local high school.
Yeah, the high schools came out. Even the raid room, we had both two raid rooms came out to get, just because where you can go and like smash stuff. There was like old printers, old TVs in here and stuff. So they came to take it to get one more life to help someone get their aggression out somewhere.
Yeah, all of the dozy lover shop here were like, we love you, thank you, but no more.
Yeah, the cranny told us to quit dropping stuff off. Goodwill was like, please quit coming. So we really wanted to think outside the box. We still had about 8 dumpsters come out of here, unfortunately, but we really did what we could to make sure the stuff got at least one more life out of it before it went to the trash. So
It was a really really cool moment for us being moms and putting in all this work. This building did not have AC. We were bringing it from 1867 up to 2024 at that point in time. That's a lot of time to jump and bring it back up to code with electricity. And like I said, we didn't have air conditioning that whole summer. We were remodeling. So we had like big fans and an ice cooler outside. So we'd all take breaks and do that. But I remember we were ripping down the paneling back here because it's all covered up. And we had one of those HGTV moments where we rip it down and I go, oh my gosh. And she goes, it's a shiplap. And I go, oh, and her husband's like, oh,
Y'all are silly.
y'all are ridiculous. But it was great.
And so
good.
we did a lot of the sweat equity for the building. I was up on a boom lift outside with a painter painting the whole up the building.
All of the front of the building by herself on a boom.
Yeah.
With the little electricity things off. It was sketchy, but proud of her.
So as well.
Actually stretched your limits on your capabilities. You realized you could do a lot more than you thought you could, you know, when you sometimes are put in that situation where you have to
Go, Mom.
you just have to do it, you know?
That's when Go Moms Go became a thing. And for us being who we are and having the tribe that we do of our friends and, you know, other moms and things, the amount of people who have come up and been like, you guys have inspired us by just trying.
Yeah.
You guys have inspired us by coming out and doing what you're doing. And that was before we even opened up our doors.
Yeah.
You know, so come August when we got our air conditioning and
Literally the day we opened, my husband was like plugging it in.
it was
We were having like our opening gala, lipstick gala thing that we had with our friends and family that came and helped.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious.
it was like 3, 2, 1, ding, AC.
Yeah.
So that was awesome to like get air conditioning in the building and to just see how far that we had come with the transformation.
We'll send y'all some before photos.
Yeah, we'll get you guys before photos. To see the transformation of the building itself from that March to August, but then to internalize that transformation for us, not just as friends, but as moms and business owners and all the other cool things.
Mhm.
And then to turn around and open up our doors and have other people come in and be like, we need this. This is amazing. Oh my gosh. Can I teach here? Can we work? Yes, by all means. Let's figure this out. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah. And so August it'll be your 1-year anniversary.
Yes.
And y'all have had success. You have quite a few people that come in that utilize your place
Community
and
has really come in strong. Like she said, people come in all the time and like, we need this. And you know, each month has gotten a little busier with the word of mouth getting out and stuff, and people kind of realizing our mission and kind of what we're here for. We're not just a boutique or just a grocery store. We have a community driven mission. We talked about like, we don't charge commission on top of our spaces for our vendors. So that's one other way we're being a business that is community driven. You can be a successful business and not be so worried about your bottom line. You can give that money back to the people that it belongs to and still be successful. And so, yeah,
that's great.
It's just getting busier and busier, and we hope to keep growing. We have plans to have a community garden, hopefully by next spring.
Oh, that was going to be my next question. What's in the future for the gathering place? The community garden.
Yeah. So we have the community kitchen, which we touched on. The building is so old and so big that we've broken it down into different phases. So stay tuned for some more magic that the building will bring.
Yes.
But the community kitchen is the big one that we're working towards. To the left of the Magnolia Hotel, if you're facing the Magnolia, there's an empty field. Eventually, that will be our community garden. And the decision for that is to honor a little girl who passed away and to have a community area where her family can also come and, you know, honor her. But this little girl, Riverlyn, is all about fairies and butterflies and flowers. And sadly, she passed away at 7.
I think she's 6.
Age 6. So we want to create a really fun, whimsical, child welcome garden where families can go and have a little picnic or go sit down and
Or learn to garden.
Yeah, we want little signs out there that have all of the different names. Thank you. Here you go. Okay, I'll sit with me too. So have it be like a fun educational space for families to come and unite and just be. We also eventually want to, and this is big dreaming out there, host full moon dinners. eventually in the garden.
Oh, nice.
Or if you come and you're part of growing and learning all that, and it'll be open to the community to come pick, as needed if anyone needs to. But, as it grows and gets bigger, we want like fruit trees and just, just like just a food garden.
Yeah.
And then we can, like she said, we have visions of like a stage where local music can be playing and a playground for the kids. And then like
Another
a
gathering.
20-foot long table in the middle somewhere where we can harvest the food, come over here, cook it together, and then go eat together as well.
Oh,
So
what a
another
wonderful vision. What a wonderful vision. Yeah.
yeah.
It's so cool.
Really love these like tribal kind of ways of gathering and being together. And that goes into the wellness part, like, us being able to gather as a community like that and be together in those evenings, eating food together. That's part of mental health too. Isolation and loneliness can cause mental illness and stuff. So
True.
Yeah, you want to be that warm, welcoming invitation for people to come in and experience something new or ask the questions that they want to ask or maybe don't know where to ask,
Yeah.
or if they're needing a resource. We're limited. We only have so much that we could fit in these brain bars, okay? But we know so many beautiful people with just as much, if not more, brain power than what we have. And if we can get you connected with them, well, that's the match made in heaven.
being a bridge.
Yeah.
Being a bridge. I love it. Very nice. Anything else y'all want to tell me about your wonderful place here that we haven't touched on? Have we hit everything yet?
One quick little thing, we close on Sundays and then we're closed all day Mondays. So if anyone in the community is in need of food, if there's any food items that won't make it to Tuesday when we open, we give those away. So that's something I've been trying to get the word out about. Like if you are a mom and you just want an extra loaf of bread or something, and we have some, like I said, that won't make it to Tuesday, or vegetables that are kind of there on the edge and are still edible, but won't be edible on Tuesday morning, we give that out to the community.
Oh, that is good to know.
When do we get that out?
At like 5:45 p.m., like right before we close.
On Saturday.
On Sunday.
On Sunday.
On
Oh,
Sunday,
okay.
yeah,
On
yeah,
Sunday.
on Sunday.
Sundays at 5:45 is when we give.
Okay. Wow. That's wonderful too.
Angels.
Thank you. All right. Well, I just want to say thank you both, ladies. Y'all are just a joy to talk to, and your place is lovely. I really enjoy it. I wish you much success building this community and this gathering place for Seguin. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. This was such an honor and so fun.
That's another episode of Discover Seguin On Location, sponsored by Bernard Donegan Insurance. Everybody come out to the gathering place here on Crockett Street and see all the wonderful items they have and meet these two lovely ladies.
Bye, Seguin.